Hi everybody, I'm Wendy from Keller Williams Realty Evolution and the Dalbon & Company team. And as some of you may remember, I am doing a monthly series on home buyers. And today we are talking to James Walliman from Leader Bank to answer some of the most frequent questions we get about mortgages and loans. Welcome, James.
Welcome.
Okay, but before we jump into the mortgage questions, I just have a few kind of quick get to know James questions, if you're up for that.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So, James, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee, as you can see.
Yes.
Black.
Black. Hot black
Hot
coffee.
black coffee.
Yes.
Okay. Morning or night?
Oh, that's a tough one. I really like mornings, but I see a lot more nights.
Okay. Live to eat or eat to live?
Eat to live.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
I wish I was like an eat
Yeah.
to live person.
Who's
I'm
got
definitely-
time to eat?
I love food. I don't know. Book or movie TV?
Ooh, these are
Yeah.
tough. I wasn't ready for these.
I know. It's a surprise.
Movie
Okay.
TV.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
All right. This one might stump you a little. So, what's the best advice you ever got?
Stay hydrated and mind your
That's a
business.
good one. Oh, I like those.
Yeah.
I like those.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. All right. In general.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
That
right?
was fun. Yeah.
In general, how do people know how much they can afford when it comes to buying a home?
It really depends on, I think, one key factor, and that is their own monthly budget, right?
Okay.
I talk to clients all the time. What they can afford as far as what we will lend to
Yeah.
them is different than what
Yes.
they want to afford every month. And
Yes.
so when I start with clients, I talk to them about working backwards. If you start with how much do you want to spend on your mortgage payment? That includes principal, interest, taxes, insurance, everything in one. What do you want to spend? What is your max? Let's then take that and work backwards, because like any sort of shopping, if you can afford a little bit more, that is going to look attractive when you go
Right.
out shopping. So
Right.
why not start within your budget so you're only shopping within your budget?
If they don't really know what their budget should be, if they don't actually have a financial planner they're working with, is that something you can help them with as you go through their file, or is that not really, you don't really go there?
We do it in casual conversation.
Okay.
I am not a licensed financial
Yes.
advisor. I cannot give financial advice or tax help. However, oftentimes through experience and just through
Yeah.
understanding kind of how the world works, we
Yeah.
often have casual conversations that help them kind of
Okay.
land on where they
Okay.
are.
And both of us have great referral sources for financial
Absolutely.
planners
Absolutely.
and tax people.
Yeah.
So what do people need to do to get pre-approved, and how long does that take?
They need to call me
Okay.
only. And then
What
the turnaround time is very quick. So we can pre-approve somebody and have a letter ready for them in a matter of hours, depending on how fast they can move. So the first step is to call a lender
Okay.
that they, seem to hit it off with or trust. Get a pre-approval application in. Give us some supporting documentation that we walk them
Which
through.
is generally, aside from the application, like what documents do they kind of need to have at their fingertips?
W-2s for the last
Okay.
2 years, last 30 days of pay stubs, last 2 months of bank statements is really where
Okay.
we start.
Okay.
If we can get those things in and pull a credit report, we're able to very quickly turn around a pre-approval and get them out shopping. Now, some people don't want to do that. They want to what's called a pre-qualification.
I was just going to ask you, what's the
Yeah,
difference?
They want to, well, the difference is that we pull a credit report for a pre-approval and we do not for a pre-qualification.
Okay.
So if we get the documentation in, they get their application in, we agree we're not going to pull credit yet. That's often
Okay.
good for people that are not quite ready to start shopping this weekend.
Okay.
They just want to see what they can afford and start to build a plan.
Okay.
I tell people, if you're planning on buying within the next 120 days, let's get a credit report. Let's get it official so you can pounce when you want to.
Okay. And that was actually my next question. How does applying for a mortgage impact
Well,
credit?
you
are. This
I'm
is
answering
amazing.
your questions before. This is my teaching.
Yeah, I was curious. So how does applying for a mortgage impact your credit, and when does it get pulled? It sounds like when you do the pre-approval, it gets pulled. Is that a hard credit pull?
We need to pull a hard credit pull when we want to write a pre-approval for an offer.
Okay.
We cannot write an offer without a credit pull.
Okay.
However, if a client wants to hold off on pulling credit, we can get everything set up, get them pre-qualified, ready to go. And then they can kind of like, poke around, window shop a little bit. And then if they really want something, they find something on a Sunday and you call me and say, hey, are these clients ready to go? All it is a matter of pulling a credit, putting their liabilities and we're off to the races.
Okay, and how long is a pre-approval good for?
It's funny, people ask that all the time. Technically, it doesn't expire. What expires is the documents and the change of circumstance. So
and the credit.
Pre-approved, right? So the credit report itself is good for 120 days.
Okay.
When that's up, in order to make an offer, we have to pull a new one. Last 30 days pay stubs are good for the last 30 days. So we're always updating those.
Okay.
Last 2 bank statements, same thing. So really it's the documentation, and if anything has changed in their circumstance, that expires, not the pre-approval itself.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Can someone get a mortgage if they want or need to put less than 20% down?
Absolutely.
Okay. As little as how much?
0.
Really?
In some programs, not often, but in some programs you can put as little as 0% down. Most conventional loans, we're looking at 5% as the minimum. FHA loans, you can go as low as 3.5%, but there's VA loans, there's USDA loans, there's different loans and programs that have all the way down to 0%.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
And what should people know about when they talk to a lender? What are the questions they should be asking when they're deciding who to work with? What would you say are the important questions to be asking?
I think jumping right into the financial aspect of it, and how quick a lender can work, or how efficient they are is sort of should be the second set of questions. I really feel like getting to know the person, who they are, what their background is, every business is created different. All of us loan officers approach our business differently. How do they approach their business? And can you, kind of link up with them on a personal level and trust this person to walk you through a really important purchase in your life?
Yeah.
Then we talk about efficiency. Then we talk about how often are you open and how often do you answer calls and things like that.
And that's huge, because I have I have people who, started off working with somebody else, and then we want to put an offer in and they can't reach the lender.
Totally.
And that's a difficult situation. But of course I understand people have lives. It's not that they need to work 24/7, though it may feel that way sometimes. but it's an important question to ask. What do I do in that situation?
Sure. Yeah. And there's different, there's lenders, there's banks. We're a bank, but we're created like a lender, so we're open 24/7. But some banks are not. Some lenders, like you said, everybody has different kind of strengths and weaknesses. And so I think the client needs to look at, especially, who do they trust, who do they feel is being honest, transparent, and clear with them.
Totally. And what would you say is you're with Leader, but you've had experiences with other companies. What do you like about Leader? What do you think is a benefit to your clients?
It's amazing. Like I just said, we are a bank that's set up like a mortgage company, so we are the best of both worlds, right? We have our portfolio products, we have the secondary market that lenders use, and then we have a community banking partnership program. So we have like 3 pools to pick files from. We are a bare bones operation that really cares about client first, which lowers our costs, which lowers our rates, which gives you better products. And if you work with me and my team, Wendy can attest to this, we are just honestly just lovely human beings that want to help people. And that's,
we don't work with anyone who's not a lovely human being.
Right, so. That's it. And that's why it's so important to find people that match with you.
Criteria number 1,
right,
lovely human being,
absolutely,
for sure.
Absolutely.
Anything else people should know?
I just think that if you don't have a team that takes the stress of buying away from you, you are with the wrong team. This should be, and it's not always going to be stress-free, but if you can find a team of people that are like, hey, we're going to do the hard work for you so that this can be a really, as much as it can be, an enjoyable process for you and your family, and you trust those people, that's who you should find, 100%. That's who you should work with. And secondly, how do people work, and what kind of relationship do you want to build with them for the long haul? We want to be your real estate advisor,
Yeah.
and your mortgage debt
Yeah.
advisor for the rest of your life
Yeah.
and your family's life.
And also your local resource, right? Like
Right,
I sell real
right.
estate. Half of our clients are looking to buy or sell, but the other half are just looking for resources, and we provide that service
Sure,
as well. So it's having,
sure.
and same for you. I would imagine there are people who aren't necessarily in the market to buy or sell, maybe need to refinance. Somebody who you can
Right.
just pick up the phone and be
Totally.
like, James, what are the rates at right now?
Or
What
even
should I
get
do?
just advice, somebody
Yeah,
that you know you can
exactly,
call
exactly.
even when it's not a deal on the table or money
Yeah.
to be had. That's who you want. We have mechanics that we go to.
Yes.
They become our mechanics for life. Why not have advisors that you go to for life as well?
Absolutely. And lastly, how can people reach you? What's the best way for them to reach you?
They can call me, they can text me, they can email me. All of my information's online, and
Yeah.
I do.
And I
work,
will link in the
I do work
video
24
here.
hours a day,
I
7
know,
days a
we
week.
both
So,
do.
so
James
that's
and
where
I
the
are
coffee
absolutely
comes in.
texting at all hours of the night and day. Well, thank you so much for doing this.
Absolutely.
Very helpful, and I
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks
it.
for having me.
Of course.
Great.